Hey, welcome back to the channel. I'm John. We're going to talk about trends today because that's a very important thing to know when you're first getting started into looking what kind of contracts, what kind of position you should be getting yourself into. Also, before we get started, make sure to jump into our Discord. It's completely free in the description below. We talk and teach stocks all day, every day. Can't wait to see you there. First and foremost, here's the definition from Investopedia because I don't feel like reading it off.
No, God, please!
All right, so first we got to talk about market sentiment. And basically what that means is just what way is the market trading? How do most investors feel about the market? Do they think it's going to go up? Do they think it's going to go down?
Nobody knows if a stock is going to go up, down, sideways, or in circles.
And that's going to be kind of hard to understand, but you have to look at multiple time frames to kind of get a bigger picture of what's going to be happening, or what you can take a guess at what's going to happen. So I would highly recommend only trading in the direction of the trend in the market sentiment. So I want to get into another example. Today we're going to be looking at the chart of Home Depot again. I think Home Depot actually reacts to technical analysis pretty well, and it's pretty reliable for the things that you draw in for trend lines and levels and whatnot. Now, when we're looking at this, we can obviously see that it's trending upwards, moving up in a general direction. And since this is over the course of over a year, we know that the general trend is going to be moving upwards and that most people are going to be viewing Home Depot as a positively trending stock. So this will mean that the bias towards Home Depot will be leaning towards bullish, because most people know that it's trending up if they look at a chart. What we want to do here to understand the trend line and how to draw in a trend line is by looking at the trend lows, because we're going to be looking for a level that the price is going to bounce off of and project it higher in the trend. So what we're going to look for first is going to be the swing lows and swing highs. So we can clearly identify that there are swing lows here, 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 like that. So there's about 5 on each side. So now that we have our swing lows and swing highs drawn in, so this would be a swing low, and this is a swing high. Now the important thing to understand about swing lows and swing highs in the uptrend is that the swing lows are always going to be higher than the previous low, and same thing with the swing highs. The next step of that uptrend is always going to be in a higher position than it was in the previous step. So we can see here that this swing low, if we draw a line, we can see that it's about $159, and this swing high is about $195. So that's a pretty big range right there. But the important part is that this next swing low, the next time it bottoms is at $180. So if we remember here, it was at about 160. And now it's at 180. It just raised its support by about $20. Now, we should be looking for another swing high, which is going to be up here around $210. Now, if we look back, this last swing high was at a $195, and now it's at $210. That's a $15 move upward. So now we've pretty much transitioned the entire stock support and resistance up about $20. We can see that they keep following that trend by going with higher highs and higher lows. So what we want to find out next is, where is the actual trend line? Where is that actual support? And the way that you're going to do that is by finding a line that connects to the most points on the supportive side in an uptrend, and vice versa in a downtrend. All right, so let's try and draw one in. And to do this, I'm pretty much just going to be looking for the point that matches and hits the most swing lows as possible. And that's pretty much what I do, just to see what is the trend line that even in the future, maybe in the past, that point has been hit multiple times by swing lows and swing highs. So if we start down here, we just want to try and match up. So this is connecting to the first swing low, this is connecting to the second swing low, this is connecting to the third swing low, and this is connecting to that fourth swing low that we had drawn in. So this might not be our best one because it only matches to one other point. But if we move that and we drag this guy up here, now it's touching 1, 2, 3, 4 swing lows and bounces off and creates a new swing high each time. So this is very important to understand, because now that we have this trend line drawn in here, we can take this and we can extend this out to see where a future point might come across in the future. So if we extend this all the way out, and obviously this is from the coronavirus crash in early 2020, and so there's obviously a bearish sentiment, but once it came back across this line, and you'll find this is a similar situation for a lot of stocks that you look at during this time period, is that many of them were on a trend line from 2019, broke that trend line early 2020, and then retested, and then finally came back over that line and created more bullish movement. So what we want to look for, the reason why this is really important to draw in is because once we look in the future, we can see that from this past trend line, it tests it again and bounces off, creates a new higher high. And then remember from our last video, we talked about bull flags. So now we know exactly what this is. We can draw in lines here to see this channel. Now what's interesting that now that we know about bull flags and trend lines is it bounced off this trend line here and then created another bounce right near after it, which created another bullish movement up towards the top of that bull flag. Now we're still kind of in this bull flag, except it just recently broke out. And now this might actually be a good trade to tell to my group because I didn't actually see this before, but we can see it's clearly breaking out on the 4-hour chart here. So it's breaking out of this bull flag, and now this might be a great entry. So if we go to a shorter time frame, our lines are still drawn in. We can see that it breaks this bull flag and then comes back down, retests it, and then rejects and breaks off higher. So that's actually a great entry point right there, and we could actually see a big run from Home Depot in the next couple of weeks. So that's really interesting. So that just goes to show how you can find patterns and you can find where prices might reject off of from trend lines and other bull flags and consolidation patterns. So once you kind of put all these things together, it really helps with confirmation if there's a position that you're looking to get into. So that's why this stuff is really important to know, because just by looking at this chart, you might not have been able to pick up exactly what was happening. But now that we looked at it, now we have a good idea of what type of route Home Depot might be making in the near future. So that's going to be it for today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed learning about trend lines. It was also kind of cool that you guys got to see me kind of looking over a chart live and finding out some information that I'm going to have to look into a little more later about Home Depot and how that might react in the next couple of weeks. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to leave a comment, something you might want to see or something that I might have missed. Also like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.